Hey guys, what is going on? Redmaster here, and welcome back to the episode of Cards and Castles TV commentary. Now today we do have something quite special here. As you would see on your screen, we're actually going to be doing these three matches. And the reason why is that they all feature at least one player currently sitting at the top 10. Now of course they may not be sitting at the top 10 by season's end, but I think being in the top 10 is relatively a great achievement to have. So with that being said, we're going to take a look at what these guys are running in their TV matches. They are, of course, some using different formats than what is currently qualified as meta. But again, we'll see what they're running as we head into the matches. So, with that being said, guys, let's take it over to our first match of the day. And our first match will be kokoMonkey versus eidetiker. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that second name correctly, but let's see what happens. As kokoMonkey passes his turn 1, so does Tiker, and they move into turn 2, where Tiker is the first one to make a play with the Hassan City Guards. So he's putting on some early pressure, not too bad. Coco responds by mugging the upmost Hassan City Guard, following up with a Master Thief as well to give him an invest of 2 next turn. And that Thief, I assume, is planning on trading with the Guard. But Tiker responds with a coin into a Flux for his next turn and puts his Hassan City Guard in range of the Master Thief. Coco plays a Southport Captain plus School combo, hoping to get an additional draw for his next turn. And by placing that Flux right in front of the, placing the Captain in front of the castle, he's hoping to lure in the Flux, but Tiker plays an Armory and leaves his Flux where it is. Coco takes the opportunity to play a Treasure Hunt on his Captain and moves up a Con Artist as well, hoping to get 2 more draw, one from the Con Artist Awaken and one from the Captain Treasure Hunt Invest. So first draw, of course, and then we see, continuing drawing. So we see Coco's playing a standard kind of school read deck and uses increased gold to play Craxus, while Tiker has a Fenrir of his own, now 4/6 thanks to the Armory, and a Scoped Fenrir will be what Tiker plays with. Scoped Fenrir, very dangerous. We see Flux as well taking a shot at the castle for Dwarven Greed. He'll play that right away because he's got no dwarves in deck, so might as well take the invest while he can. Salahar Rider and Lumberjack as well to reinforce his presence, and Tiker's already off to a great start in this match. We'll see how Coco handles the rest of the, Tiker's forces, but he's definitely got a slight advantage. Dread Pirate Robin's unable to kill off Fenrir, and now Tiker has another chance to attack with said Fenrir. He'll take a shot at the castle, letting Salahar do additional damage as well, taking out the Craxus with the Rampage, and actually forces a quick surrender from Coco. So Tiker, very aggressive mid-range deck. We see the Armory in combination with Fenrir and Dwarven Scope. Those 2 cards, those last 2, Scope and Fenrir, are already dangerous by themselves, but combined with buffs from Armory and pushing up some of those weaker units that have got the buffs, like Salahar as a 3/2, Lumberjack as a 2/2, it just creates a lot of pressure for the opponent. We can see the school deck didn't really keep up. He needed to kill that Fenrir last turn, but his Robins wasn't able to get the job done. So unfortunately, Coco falls to Tiker, and very good match from, of course, both of them. But let's move on to our second match and see what that one holds. Should be interesting, as a Ninja Druid deck, I believe, is what our next top 10 player is playing. And on to the next one, it's going to be dominashawn. I'm going to call him Shawn versus Fenrir 14. Of course, Shawn playing the Druid Ninja and is the top 10, I think top 9, I want to say, at the time of recording. I might be wrong on that, don't quote me. But of course, Fenrir starting off his early turns very strong here. He's playing the same colors as Tiker did last time, the Lumberjack and Vicious Sunflower, while Shawn can only do an altar play. And Fenrir, of course, keeping that aggression strong with a Dwarven Miner. Although Shawn does have the altar a very, very strong card at the moment with the zombie generation. Karasume with the extra gold, thanks to the Metal of Bravery from Shawn. Lumberjack will take another strike at the castle, and the Miner will use a Phantom Strike to take out the Armory. He doesn't want any of those buffs, and Flower, of course, moving into position to explode onto the castle. Shawn summons a Shaman, which will get additional draw. Karasume kills the Miner, which bounces the zombie, and of course Shawn will immediately replay that, hoping to not keep it in his hand for any future clogging. Fenrir on turn 5 summons a Flux Dabs. I'm still no one can get that last name right. But of course, Vicious Sunflower takes a shot at the castle. Zombie plus so Karis. Nope, Shaman's gonna get the Vanishing Strike. Throne of the Emperor as well. So Shaman actually hits the Flux, and he'll get bounced back. And will Karasume hit the flower after summoning the Shaman? Nope. Okay, he'll bounce the Zombie. The Zombie will get the buff. Sunflower explodes for 3 on the castle. Not a big deal. And just a Zombie actually comes out, now being a 4/4 thanks to the Throne of the Emperor. Fenrir responds with a Tyrannosaur in the front of the castle, maybe getting some defense out of it. But another Throne of the Emperor from Shawn comes out now, followed up by the replay of the Shaman, now 4/6 thanks to only 1 throne, not 2. Witch Bolt, though, will take out the Karasume, giving Shawn another card, though, so I don't think it was a huge loss for him. Plus, a Scope on the Tyrannosaur will kill off the Shaman without Tyrannosaur taking any damage. So, but a Panda, very dangerous Panda, will bounce back Tyrannosaur, neutralizing the Dwarven Scope buff on it. And now Fenrir is going to have to, somehow... I mean, he's not in a lot of trouble here, but he did play that call for aid. Essentially passing his turn without summoning a unit. 2 Elvish Hunters from Shawn come out. Panda takes a shot at the castle, and a free Centaur thanks to the Elvish Hunter cost reduction. Plus Shadow Slip bounces all of those units back to his hand, and now they get an additional +2, I believe it is. Yes, +2 from 2 thrones. Fenrir, in response, plays that same Tyrannosaur plus Phantom Strike, takes out the Zombie without any sort of damage to Tyrannosaur. He doesn't have a lot to worry about thanks to all of the buffs. We see Elvish Hunter at 6/6, and that's only one of them. Centaur at 7/7 will take a shot at the castle, plus Armory, and the Panda to bounce back Tyrannosaur for good measure. And meanwhile, the Panda himself is 7/7. So, dangerous stuff from Shawn here. Will Fenrir surrender, unfortunately? Nope, he's going to keep going here. Villaroth takes out Centaur. Of course, Villaroth's effect. But ultimately, it's not going to be enough, and Shawn will take the win on this one. Very interesting bounce deck. I know Shawn's been really rocking those colors lately. I will give him that. He's been pretty, not to quote his name, but he's been pretty dominant with them. I think making bounce work, especially in this time, can be quite difficult, but he seems to have the right idea with it. Companions are questionable, but I guess... whatever you prefer as a playstyle, you could certainly make it work, and we saw that with Shawn's deck. As for Fenrir, also very skilled player. Those colors have been growing in a little bit, not as much as some of these other decks though, but it is certainly one of those decks that can provide some great power if you need to. I just think maybe Fenrir couldn't really handle those throne buffs. The deck wasn't really meant to stop those big Throne of the Emperor buffs from happening. But overall, great match from those two. And now we move on to our last match of the day, where we have, I think, at the time of recording, Bruchino, number 5 in the world. So let's take a look and see what he's got what he's running, or what he's got going on in his deck. So, of course, Bertino, number 5, rocking the Pirate Viking, and starts out pretty strong with a Lumberjack against Lats. I don't know if it's LATS or just Lats. I'm going to call him Lats for now. But he passes turn 1, giving Bertino the opportunity to hit face. Judging by Lat's deck, I can assume it might be some sort of freeze. I don't want to jump to War Party, although I do see Yarm and Yenneroth. But Bertino, of course, playing a Lumberjack, an additional one, and the Rat Hovel, but Lich will freeze those 2 Lumberjacks, and Lich will take out one thanks to them being frozen. Bruchino, though, gets a Rat from the Hovel on turn 3, and plays Hassan City Guard as well, hoping to put some pressure on Lats, knowing that he might have a War Party. But Gathering Ice will freeze off all of these units, and Lich will take out one of the Hassan City Guards, thanks to Frozen, no damage done to him. Southport Captain will, of course... die to Lich, and the Rat will go on to eventually trade with it. A lot going in on Bertino's turn, though. I would say that it was a pretty expensive trade. But Rune Warrior from LATS will take out the Lumberjack and Rat thanks to the Chain Lightning. But Bertino, of course, can take that out very easily by sacrificing both the Rat and the Hassan City Guard, which he does there. And now has 7 gold and free to summon the Minotaur. Lats on his turn 6 though will play a Lich, and I assume he might go Divine Knowledge. He will for that extra draw, knowing that he's safe next turn to play that. And of course, we can assume by now he's pretty much got a War Party deck. We see the 2 Frozen Storms; those can do massive damage. But Tyrannosaur from Bruchino will accelerate the Minotaur forward, and of course the Rat from the Hovel looking to intercept the Lich. But the Lich with a Spirit Strike combination will take out that Minotaur without any sort of damage to his own castle. Hassan City Guards come out. One trades with the Rat. The other, of course, threatens the Hovel. Tyrannosaurus Aura pushes back the Rat, but an Armory and Dwarven Scope will lead Tyrannosaur to get a nice power buff. He'll take a Chomp out of the castle, bringing the game to 12-20, and LEADETiker will respond with a Frozen Storm. So, of course, neutralizing all of the units currently on the board, plus reinforce. He's looking for that War Party, I assume. He's got Ranger, two Krakuses, Yarm, Yenneroth in hand. So we definitely see that this is a War Party deck, or at least we're going to make that assumption at this point. It's pretty safe to assume. Bruchino plays a Flux Dabes, make that 2. Of course, 1 trades with the Hassan City Guard. I missed the spells that went to his hand. I think you guys know what they are. I think one was Flash Grenade. But anyway, a Frozen Storm. That makes, I think, 2. Maybe I wasn't. I think it's 2 or 3. But 1 Flash Grenade is actually going to be used right now. Bring back the weakest Flux into Bruchino's hand. Plus Lumberjack and Witch Doctor. Plus that replay, I can only assume, from Flux will lead him to have a pretty decent amount of units on the board. But Yenneroth's Frozen will, of course, come out, hitting Tyrannosaur, but Tyrannosaur will take a Chomp out of Yenneroth, killing it completely. Bertino with the Kraken play now. Interesting. Takes 6 out of the opponent's castle, and of course sends his Rat from the Hovel up pretty far. I guess he was just up there, so he had to move it. Wind Mage, of course, knocking everything back, plus a Rune Warrior for a nice chain here. Of course, that's going to kill the Rats, Lumberjack, and the Tyrannosaur. Nothing else, though. All Bertino really needs to do is just buff the Kraken here, and the game will be his. Although, I think he's trying to get a buff from Flux, and he does get that. Lunging attack. Doesn't play it on the Kraken, because he does actually have another one, it seems, which will finish off the game quite nicely. I think Kraken worked very well here for Bertino. He was getting pushed back. Frozen, we saw. That's essentially what War Party does. It stalls till the last possible moment to play War Party, in which case you see a massive amount of units late game at that come out and swarm you. But Bertino's use of Krakens to dramatic entrance and hit the board is a very well added touch for the deck. I don't really see Kraken a lot, so seeing that does give me hope for the card. It will probably make a prominent return. And of course, we saw how effective it was being a 6/6 buff from Armory, and that's only being one of them for a total of 12 face damage with the 2 Krakens. So about 3 plus the Armory, so 6. So pretty much you could take out 18 if you're running 3 Krakens plus 1 Armory. So that's pretty deadly. As for Lats, War Party, of course, it's War Party. What much can I really say about that? For those of you who know me, you know my thoughts on War Party. It's not... I don't think it's a terrible card. I mean, some people will fight me saying it's killing the game. That's debatable. Of course, I think it's definitely a tough deck to fight, but it's not a totally unbeatable deck. You just have to know to push, effectively from the get-go and put them as as much pressure as you can put them under. Force them into unfavorable positions and whatnot. But I might go into a later video myself about War Party. I'm not too sure about that yet. But anyway, great matches from all 3 of our top 10 players today. Definitely, I think, a good showing. And with that being said, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and of course, leave a comment down below on your thoughts from today's matches. And of course, if you are new to the channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, show your support, help us grow, all by clicking that subscribe button. That clicking came out a bit weird, but we're going to move on from that. So, with that being said, guys, until next time, stay gaming.